Hello everyone, welcome back to FPL Star. Today I gonna discuss about the several mistakes that FPL manager have done to building their draft. So if you are new in this channel, please subscribe this channel for this kind of video. The first mistake FPL manager done is that too much money in bench, like 4.5 million goalkeeper or above, or 5 million or above midfielder, 4.5 or 5 midfield defender, and cheap for like 6 million in the bench. It's not needy, because every week your first 11 will play, and why you need that much of bench depth if you have 11 starter? And so I don't think that too much money in bench is needy. And you should also consider that your bench players should start, like 4 million midfield, 4 million defender or 4.5 million midfielder is a very good option for your bench, because they are starting. If any of your player doesn't start any match, then he will play. And you should avoid the highly owned non-starter in bench, because if they are owned a lot of manager, and if they don't start, then a lot of manager will transfer them out, and that will decrease their value, and it will decrease your squad value, and this is not desirable. So I think high owned non-starter should be avoided for bench option. Now the second mistake FPL manager is done is that playing chips too early in the season, first game week, like triple captain, second game week bench. This is not a good idea. It's a mistake like Harry Maguire done in the defense of Manchester United. Double game week, there are a lot of in last part of the season, so you should save some of your keep for this double game week. And blank game week free hit is a very good option for blank game week. So I think that you should not waste your chip early. Now the third mistake FPL manager is done, they overhype player by in their team. New player in FPL, that in EPL sometimes they buy this, like Timo Werner last season, a lot of player buy them, and Lukaku, but they are not proven. Some players do not adapt in EPL so well, and that's why I don't think that you should go for a new player if he's not that much good. Like Haaland or Cristiano Ronaldo, they are in another level, so they are good, but don't go for a lot of new player. The second thing you should avoid is the player team changes from one EPL team to another EPL team. Like Gabriel this is a move from Manchester City to Arsenal, and he is a good option because he is a goal scorer. In Manchester City he is starting all the match, but in Arsenal he is starting all match. So I think he is a good option. But sometimes we can see that a player move from Aston Villa, like Jack Grealish, Aston Villa to Manchester City, and he is not getting minute, he is not adapting Manchester City, and that's why you should most probably avoid the player that changes the EPL team. Like this is a very good option for your team. And sometimes in manager change can also a headache for your team, because a new manager, new idea, you never know what player will start, what player will bench. Like Manchester United this season have Eric Ten Hag, you don't know that who will start, and this is a thing that you should consider. And promoted team player, they are not proven in EPL, like Mitrovic or Solanke. They can be good option, but they are not proven. Sometimes we have already seen recent years that in championship a player score a lot of goal, but when he is in EPL he is not scoring that much good goal. So I think you should also avoid the promoted team player. The fourth mistake FPL manager is done, that too much differential, and this is too much risky. If you go for a 4 or 5 differential in your draft, then this draft will never get you a good point, because differential is 1 or 2, but a lot of differential is not good for your team. And so go almost template. You cannot go fully template, because template there are very highly owned, as well as their price is very high. You cannot go for all most owned player, but you should transfer player who is very good. Like You can go a differential player, but there should be a good reason for that. And sometimes you should go for some forgotten player, like this season Jared Bowen. He's a low ownership because lots of manager forgotten him. He was last season amazing, so you should consider this type of player also. The fifth mistake FPL manager has done, that transfer mistake. And don't book your transfer early. Like first week you go for Harry Kane, then second week Haaland. It can never be happen because sometimes player get injured or another things can happen. So you should not book your transfer. The second thing you should also consider, that early transfer is not good for you team. Early transfer, sometimes you transfer in a player and rather after some time he will get injured, and in game week you need to take hit. That's why early transfer is not good. And sometimes you got for a panic transfer. You hear a news that can be authentic or not, but you transfer your player for hearing this news. Sometimes this can be false, so you should avoid this. And you should go for early transfer if your player is injured and he will not play, and that's the time you should consider. Sixth mistake the FPL is done, like biasing. Like you like Cristiano Ronaldo a lot, but his fixture is very bad, but still you owned him. It's a player bias and you should avoid it. And the country bias, like you are a Brazil supporter and you go for a Brazilian player, it's a country bias, and you should also avoid this type of biasing. And some favorite team bias, you are a Liverpool supporter or Manchester United supporter, but Manchester United form is bad and Manchester United fixture is bad, but you go for a Manchester United player, and this can hamper your FPL point. And also the rival team bias, like you are an Liverpool fan and you go for a Manchester United, you don't go for a Manchester United player if he plays well. It's a rival team bias. Or you are a Liverpool player and an Everton player like Calvert Lewin perform very well, but as they are your city rival, you don't buy them. And this type of mistake should be avoided, and biasing should be avoided. Now move on to the seventh mistake is, please to not subscribe this channel yet. Hit the like button and subscribe this channel, and also press the bell icon, because this type of FPL tips is very helpful for your team. So you should subscribe to this and like Haaland keeps like. The seven mistake people did is that don't sell the player who rises a lot. Like you buy him at 7 million and he's gone for 7.6, and if you sell him, you can sell him for 7.3, and no 0.3 million budget loss. It can be very much bad for your team. You shouldn't transfer out a player whose upcoming fixture is very good. If he is performing bad or his form is bad but still playing for this team, you should consider him in your team because of it is good fixture. You can transfer him out after some time. And the third mistake is that you are selling a player like 70% possibilities shown in FPL site and you sell it, but you can see a lot of time that 75% of player playing. So this type of error should be avoided. And the ninth mistake player though is they overthink their team a lot of. That you should play for fun for Premier League or FPL. You shouldn't overthink, and this overthink can make some bad decision for your team. And another thing you should consider, that you shouldn't plan short time or very long time. You should plan for a medium range, like 5 game week or 6 game week. Okay, because short term planning can be harmful, because this type of planning cannot give a good point. And the long term planning, you making a lot of things can change, like last season COVID or another things can happen, or injury happen, then this is not good for you. And the most important thing is that you should plan your own way. You hearing a lot of friends or a lot of FPL site or FPL YouTuber video, but you should go for your team as your own way. And you should also have a backup plan in your team. If someone is injured, what should you transfer in? You should have a plan in this, and have a planning manager is a very good thing. The last thing you should avoid is that don't go all in premium, because if you are dependent on all in premium. They like you have your team have Salah, Son, Haaland, or Kevin De Bruyne. Then another part of your team is very weak, and you are overly dependent on premium. If one of two premium player doesn't play, then it will hamper your team. So don't over dependent on premium, and the same, you shouldn't go for a premium option in same spot like midfield, Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, Salah, Son, all of your team, and this makes your team not flexible enough. So you shouldn't go for premium in all position, in same position. You should go for premium option in all position like defense, midfield, or forward, one each is good. And then spread your budget up to other player that will give you a balanced team, and then overall a strong team. But bench is option is not so good for your team, but one or two players should start or play, and that's it, and you can build a very strong team by maintaining this rule. So that's all for today, and if you are enjoying this video, please like this video, and if you are new in this channel, please subscribe this channel, and also don't forget to press the bell icon. And if you think that another mistake there is I have forgotten or I have not mentioned in this video, you can say to me in this comment box. So that's all for today. Happy fantasy, good luck for your team.